Welcome to the. Let me do that again.
It's live.
Oh. Welcome to the Sons of Thunder. My name is Joel Sedicase.
And
this is Parker Sedicase.
Yeah, that's great. I knew you were going to do that. Oh, man.
Anyway, this is Parker Sedicase. He is very shy and needs his big brother to speak up for him. No,
I'm exhausted because this is the third time we're doing this.
That's right. Because
we had to delete.
We had to delete. So today we're talking about an ethical dilemma because this is the show where we tackle ethical dilemmas. This particular episode.
Yeah.
And this is Parker, you wrote a paper recently for Trinity.
Yep.
And in that paper, you bring up an interesting ethical problem, a problem dealing with morality. And well, you brought it out here, even though I didn't want to talk about it, you forced me to listen to it.
And then you got intrigued by it, and we had a good discussion.
I got intrigued. That's right. And
we wasted all of our good material.
Yeah. So what is this ethical dilemma?
So the dilemma, I call it the Adam or Ape dilemma.
Okay.
And the subtitle is my favorite part is Should America Sin Twice Against Harambe? And so let me explain. So the dilemma is there's a drunk 17-year-old at the zoo. He sneaks into the ape pen. He sneaks into the pen of Utunzai is Swahili for to care for. And Utunzai happens to be Harambe's, rest in peace, Harambe's younger brother. So this 17-year-old, we'll call him Adam. He's kind of meandering, stumbling. What was that word you liked?
Ambling
towards Utunzai. And this is a terrible situation because Utunzai is all amped up on hormones that the zookeeper's been giving him.
Yeah, they've been giving him Monster and Red Bull.
Not Monster, Red Bull, but the classic ape hormones that they're wont to give.
You better hope no zookeepers listen.
Yeah,
they're gonna go. Never give them hormones right before mating
Monster
season.
Yeah.
So hop up on Skittles and Red Bull.
The premise is that it's Utunzai is the main breeder for the breeding project, which the breeding project is trying to save Western lowland apes, of which Harambe was the foremost.
Right. And now his little brother is the last hope for the species.
Yeah.
And
probably the better hope. They should usually go with the younger brother in most things.
No, what we don't want to do is base human decisions off of animal life. For example, that's how you end up with
a great
all these
dilemma.
arguments. So you agree?
There's
those penguins.
So
those penguins. You know those penguins I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know the penguins? Everyone goes
the salute. Or
no. The penguins, the gay penguins. You know about that?
I only know about that from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah. Well, oh wow. Really?
Yeah.
No, there's like this whole argument, like, look, like homosexuality is fine because there's these penguins that are gay. There's these two male penguins, and they like hang out all the time.
Parks and Rec talk about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's like Parks and Rec. It's like Parks and Rec.
Good. Thanks for contextualizing for me. Oh. So anyways, let me go back to sounding smart.
Are people going to get triggered? Because
probably.
Okay, that's fine.
So okay, so why can't the zookeeper just shoot Utunzai with a trank gun? Well, because 3 out of the 4 trank guns are in the shop with Tony, right? Because they gotta clean the guns.
Specific
you got to.
They're
having the guns refurbished and cleaned to make sure, because they're bringing in another Western lowland ape for the breeding project, a female who's going to be on loan from the San Diego Zoo, right? So you got to have your guns all ready just in case the 2 apes don't breed but fight. Right, so they're having them worked on, but they have to have one on campus, right? That makes sense. So Sarah's got the one. Don't smile. Sarah's got the one trank gun, but she's all the way up in hoofed animals. That's like a 10-minute walk.
Easy.
So she's up there, but she's helping Camille the camel give birth.
That's like 2/3 of a mile away, though. No, I guess not. It's about half a mile.
It's a windy path, though, and you got through all the enclosures.
Unrealistic.
And there's carts and families.
How about this? Sarah has a bum leg because
no.
she was attacked by a rhino.
I don't like that one.
Well,
because they'd probably have a cart anyway. Okay, so anyways,
yeah, but she's
gun in
cart's in
time.
the shop with Tony
No, Tony doesn't. He only works.
Spicoli,
Yeah. Okay.
not Tony Johnson.
Yeah. So she's all the way up there. The point is he's got one option. He can go to his shed and get his rifle.
Mhm.
That's available. It's back in a minute. But the only thing he can do with that is he would have to shoot Yutunzai. The only hope for the Western lowland guerrilla population.
And if his option is, to make this very clear,
Mhm.
he can shoot Watutsi and end the
Yutunzai.
Yutunzai, but that's goodbye Western lowland guerrillas.
I think it's actually Yutunzahi, but let's just say Yutun. I don't know.
These are American Midwesterners, so they go, yeah,
Yutunzai.
Yutunzai.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's Yutunzai,
Yeah. Okay.
and so he can kill Yutunzai, and if he does that, he's saying goodbye to a whole population.
Exactly.
But he would save this fool's life, this
Yeah.
drunken fool.
Yeah, and it's a human life.
It's a human life.
Right.
The question is, what should he do?
Yeah.
That's the ethical dilemma.
Right.
And so what is if we were to break down the categories that we're thinking into, why is this even an ethical dilemma?
Yeah.
Why isn't it just shoot? Why
Yeah.
isn't it just what's worth more, a phone
Yeah.
or a passionate discussion?
Yeah.
All right. I just spelled it for those listening via podcast. I'm going to edit that out anyway. So watch out for
Yeah, for those listening.
For those listening, they've
You
already-
spilled water on the phone.
I spilled water on my phone. So
Well,
what?
why do you have to edit that out? Let's go.
I'm gonna edit out my mistakes.
No, don't do that.
Certainly.
Okay.
All right. So what is the ethical? Why is this an ethical problem?
Yeah. So theologically, I thought this would be interesting because it pits two Christian doctrines against each other.
Mm.
The doctrine of the Imago Dei, that humans have intrinsic value and worth because they're made in God's image,
Mhm.
and creation care or dominion, that man has been called to care for the animals, to care for nature, care for the world,
Right.
to cultivate and make the rest of the world look like the Garden of Eden.
There is another ethical issue you have not considered,
Hmm.
and I just realized that
What's that?
crime and punishment. The consequences of foolish, sinful behavior.
I consider that.
I don't think you have.
Yeah, that's so. Are the consequences just simply allowing the fool in this situation to face the consequences? Yutunzai kind of shredding.
No,
him,
but you're
right?
talking. Don't say shredding. What a horrible image. Just this ape. This ape just
I know it's really
horrible.
graphic. It's really
right.
bad.
Well, that's
It's really bad. That's
All
what
right.
makes it a dilemma.
yeah.
There's children watching and stuff.
All right. So the question. The question is there's the question of the Imago Dei,
Yep.
which we've talked about before on this podcast, and creation care, and then also what effect do our ethical decisions, our foolishness or wisdom, have on the way that our Imago Dei is thought about?
And it's ethics, right? So,
Yeah.
are you equally culpable for a positive action like shooting Yutunzai
Oh yeah, right.
as you would be for
Right.
a passive or negative action,
Right.
like allowing a circumstance which you might be able to stop
Right.
to happen?
All right. So let's hash this out. So what do you think? Where did you land in your paper?
Well, let me go through why it's difficult.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit more about that.
yeah. Go ahead.
So how do we like adjudicate between the two? A good way would be to say who's more valuable, which one of them are more valuable.
Right.
In the one sense, well, the fate of humanity doesn't rest on Adam, but maybe the fate of Western lowland apes rests on Yutunzai.
Well, let's go one step further because I think that's an important step. But let's just talk in terms of human and ape.
Yeah.
One ape, one man.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're starting there,
Yeah.
is this an easier decision? Or
Yeah. Totally.
Just there,
You know,
at
if you have to kill one, you kill the ape,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Not made in God's image,
right.
not intrinsic value in that sense.
Not
still
our
one of God's creatures,
ancestor.
right? It would still. We shouldn't just willy nilly shoot gorillas.
No, right.
If you
right,
had to, right?
Right.
Yeah. I would. If this was in the wild or something, and he's attacking tourists, is kind of hard because you put yourself in that situation. But
Well, okay, fine.
yeah, but if
Well, let's stick to the
sure,
issue at hand
Yeah.
because this is specific.
sure, we choose humans over animals, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's just a raw ground level.
Which, by the way, if you believe in evolution, by natural selection, sans God, without God, You really actually can't say that.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
only arbitrarily.
I want my race to survive.
That's an arbitrary thing. There's no reason for that.
Survival of the fittest.
The gorilla's the fittest. Who cares? Who cares? Survival of the fittest is a doctrine. Who cares?
Yeah, I want to kill.
Survival of the fittest.
Kill the gorilla.
Survival of the fittest is descriptive, not normative. Anyway.
Yeah, I know that's true. That's a good. There's no reason to want. There's no ethical ought in an evolutionary.
Survival. Yeah, the fittest animal survives. So what? Who cares? That's the way things are. It might not be that way tomorrow. Who cares? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that they might be able to. They have some argument. I'm not saying that they're. I don't think they can be consistent.
Right. So just this is just a little sidebar. Just basically saying, if you believe in evolution and you disbelieve in God, the question of human dignity is one you're going to have a hard time.
I would think so.
Justifying.
Oh no, I know so. Right?
Well,
like, yeah, you don't.
There is
have
no
that explanation that we have. Right.
Whereas we get that from the Bible, but here we are. We're a couple
we
of
recognize
Christians.
I think every human recognizes it. It's what story makes sense of that. Right? We all recognize that a
Peter
human,
Singer wouldn't recognize that.
Yeah, but
Peter Singer, an ethicist, who has basically, he said some things about human children that negating their intrinsic value.
Peter Singer isn't a. How do I say this in a polite way? Like he doesn't sleep with animals.
Well,
he still recognizes a distinction between that's what I mean by the consistency thing. Like we recognize human value, human dignity.
And Peter Singer cared for his mother when she was like he was gentle and loving and kind towards.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't.
Many have said that was inconsistent.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't want to push him on that, right?
No.
But he doesn't go to
that was a good thing. We fully affirmed that. That was wonderful.
He doesn't go to like a dog pound and do that with a dying dog.
Correct.
Right? And maybe he ought, but he hasn't. He
Right.
doesn't.
Right.
He he doesn't spend his time doing that.
Yeah.
You recognize the difference between your own kind, your own humanity.
This ethical dilemma that we're talking about, this is a dilemma for Christians because the Bible tells us to care for creation,
right,
including animals,
right. So it becomes a dilemma
recognizes the Imago Dei,
because the Imago Dei isn't just humans have value and go rape and pillage the world for your own benefit. It's you have value and dignity because you've been made in God's image to be His arbiter here on the planet.
Well, right, and actually, this is
represent Him to creation.
This is two sides of the Imago Dei because that comes with the right to life, the right to live, provided that hasn't been forfeited.
Yeah.
And that also comes with the duty to care for creation.
Right.
So the zookeeper has the duty to care for this ape, but the 17-year-old, drunken 17-year-old has the right to live.
Right.
Unless we decide, unless we determine in this thought experiment that he does not.
Yeah.
In which case, well, go on.
So we go back and forth and we try to adjudicate, well, which one has more value? Because is it like a survival thing? Because if it is, then if we want to put the evidence and the weight on which one is more important for their species to survive, Yutunzai wins that one.
Yeah.
If we want to go just raw, who has more worth as a creature? Well, it seems that Adam would get that, right? He's made in the image of God. If we want to talk the philosophy of it, well, Adam's a higher being on the, if you hold a chain of being or something like that, Adam's up higher. He has rational thought. He's capable of rational thought, reflexive thought, moral pondering. Apes aren't sitting around saying, what should we do if a human walks into here?
Right.
So he's got more ethical capacities. He's got more rational capacity. So maybe Adam's worth more, but that might not sway us towards Adam either, because if Adam is this higher being, if he has the capacities that we're talking about, then maybe that should swing it back to Yutunzai, this poor animal who doesn't even have the ability for rational thought. We're going to kill him even though it's Adam's fault that he's in this situation.
Right. Adam has made a decision.
Right.
Watutsi is just... What is it?
It's Yutunzai. He's just acting on his instinct.
His instinct. His pure instinct.
Plus, he's souped up on.
He's all hopped up on.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Mountain Dew.
So it's kind of hard to adjudicate that way. Is it do we theologically, do we base it, in just an Imago Dei issue, or do we let the fact that the Imago Dei, that humans are made to care for animals and exert dominion in a godly way over
Mhm,
animals?
mhm.
And if Euthanasia is the best way for mankind to exhibit dominion over the
Mhm.
Western lowland gorillas, then killing their best shot, or only like at repopulating the planet with these guys
Mhm.
doesn't seem like a good use of our dominion. Doesn't seem like a way to represent God.
Yeah, you're actually inhibiting all of humanity's opportunity to
Right.
steward this species.
Right.
And that's, now you're something like a poacher who just
Yeah.
goes out and just kills the endangered rhino.
Right. And think about, what does that say about humanity? That not only have we destroyed the habitats that these gorillas thrive in,
And not only have we destroyed the habitats these gorillas thrive in,
but we put them in our zoos, and then we shoot them at the drop of a hat to save our own.
yeah, that's a good point. And this is actually interesting because I don't know, I might be coming around a little bit.
Well, so lest we be too triumphalist here,
Yeah.
there's some biblical passages that need to be brought in.
Yeah, that's good. We want to ground everything that we believe and conclude in the Bible. So go.
Yeah. Well, let me put a pin in that really quick, because we need to go to personhood. Like, are gorillas persons or not? If they're not persons, then I think we kind of left it at, this poor Yutunzai, like he doesn't have reflexive thought. He's, maybe we should allow him to live since he is the lower being.
Right.
But as Peter Singer argues, Peter Singer, in this really short essay, he's actually really good at writing these really, really short, nice essays about terrible things. But he says the great apes have close and complex personal relationships with others in their group. They grieve for lost ones. They are self-aware beings, which it's pretty debatable, right?
Yeah.
They're self-aware beings capable of thought. Okay.
A self-aware being is a being that knows it exists.
So I don't know all the data on that, right? I don't know, but let's say that let's give him, for the sake of argument, let's go with it.
Well, that's a pretty
But here where I'm going.
important sake of argument.
Their foresight and anticipation enable them to plan ahead. We can even recognize the rudiments of ethics in the way they respond to other apes who fail to return a favor. So if Peter Singer, as he's arguing, if we follow him and allow apes to have personhood, it seems to erode our argument from like care, because now Yutunzai isn't this poor ape who's the lower level. Right. No, now it's a person versus a person, and so we've back to level playing field.
That's right.
Plus, he's drunk right now. Adam's drunk. So, what is his thought pattern like compared to Yutunzai?
So right. So maybe Yutunzai is actually morally in better shape here, and he should see. This is where this whole thing breaks down. We really don't. I mean, Peter Singer's argument aside here, we don't expect a gorilla to reason morally. No one in their right mind would. Everybody talking about animal rights and this and that. No, a gorilla, we would just not expect. Now,
well, and notice that we never consider, maybe we should shoot the intruder. Why don't we just shoot Adam in the head? That's just been because we do recognize the distinction there.
That's right. Yeah. The question is, should we kill Harambe's brother or not?
Right.
Not should we kill this intruder?
Yeah,
because he's breaking into his home.
He's endangered species. Kill that one.
Yeah. Right.
We don't even think about that.
No. Well, thank God we don't. And who knows, 10 years from now, what kind of discussions we'll be having as a society. But no, we recognize, even if there's sort of this rudimentary quid pro quo. Sorry to use a modern political term, but that's in the news. That whole.
Because of Trump?
Yeah.
You can't say Trump.
You just said Trump.
Mr. President.
Like he's gonna listen. Those boys, the Sons of Thunder, thought they were very fine boys.
What are those good Armenian boys? That's still my favorite line.
Are those good prosperity boys like me?
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Donald Trump is if he's a Christian at all, he's a heretical prosperity Christian. Oh, did I just? That could have been a whole podcast episode.
Yeah, you like to shoehorn your own.
I like to just shoehorn.
Okay, let's get back. Okay, so we see that. Man, we
pray for him. Pray for the president.
You can reason either
way. Pray for
way.
the president.
Tell them.
I'm not going to say he might be a Christian.
you can see there's like this pendulum that keeps swinging back. Well, you could go with this. You could go with this. You could go with this. So you said you might be coming around to seeing that maybe we should let Yutunzai live, but we have to consider some biblical data.
Yeah. Go.
So there's verses like Genesis 9, 5 through 6, and Exodus 21, 28, which explicitly demand the life of animals who kill image bearers, God's image bearers. God says that he will require a reckoning from every man and beast who sheds the blood of man. So if these commands are true, and if they're applicable for us today, not just ethical Israel back when these were commanded.
Ethical Israel?
Ethnic Israel.
Oh, you said ethical.
Yeah, well, I meant ethnic.
Ethnic Israel.
Ethical, ethnic Israel.
Yeah, they're both from the same F.
So if they do apply for us today, then perhaps Yutunzai is going to die either way, right? Either we shoot him to prevent him from killing Adam, or if we do let it play out and he kills Adam, then perhaps we're required to kill this beast.
Right. So
he shed a man's blood.
Yeah. In which case, now here, this is what you brought up earlier.
Yeah.
If the zookeeper could be thinking, well, hey, I'm a Christian here. Okay, the zookeeper's a Christian, let's say.
Yeah.
And he's looking and he goes, well, okay, Genesis is telling me that if any beast takes the life of a man, then he will have to be killed, right? And then in Exodus, what do we say? Exodus 21, when an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall not be liable.
Right.
Now, okay, so
it seems to be holding animals, beasts, responsible.
Kind of responsible a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not saying like they made an ethical choice or anything like that, but it's saying you can't abide manslayers.
Well, right. And that's the thing too. Now, okay, again, I feel like we have to give this qualification. We are not under old covenant law.
That is a question here for this zookeeper to consider.
The zookeeper needs to consider, but if
what's his view of the law?
If he's a good new covenant theologian, he knows we're not under the old covenant law, but the old covenant is still instructive for us.
So yeah, but how does that play? So what should he think about those laws?
Well, if he's thinking, well, this is what you brought up earlier. If this gorilla kills this man, I may have to kill the gorilla anyway.
So might as well kill him before he kills a human.
Right, preemptively.
Because he's dead either way.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so might as well save a life.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I brought up is the zookeeper has not necessarily. Oh no, you brought that up.
I brought that up.
The zookeeper has not necessarily.
Well, that's in my answer. So
you want to just
don't say that yet.
All right, spoiler alert.
All right,
go ahead.
So here we are left with the decision: do you shoot the gorilla, or do you let this gorilla shred a man?
Yeah, rip him, tear him limb from limb.
Yeah, in front of a bunch of kids.
All right, my kids are going to listen to this, so let's not get too gory.
Let's be glad that they're not at the zoo here.
This is not a real zoo. Just so we're clear.
This actually happened.
This is not. This is fake news.
Okay.
Fake news.
So let me give my answer, and then we can all judge me for being a terrible person.
I already have.
Okay, good. So let me just read it because I wrote it. Though I have found myself on both sides of this dilemma throughout my time pondering on it, I propose that we do not shoot Yutunzai, but instead call for Sarah to bring the tranquilizer gun and risk the death of Adam while we wait for Sarah.
Yeah.
And while there are lots of factors to consider, I think the fact that Adam is 17 significantly distinguishes this dilemma from that of Harambe and the 3-year-old. Right? So like if this was a 3-year-old child in here, I think we would have to shoot Yutunzai.
Why is that though? Why?
Because a 3-year-old child isn't intentionally like breaking and entering.
Yeah, you don't think a 3-year-old can intentionally go where he or she is not supposed to go?
Does he have the same moral culpability as someone who does know and who has also hindered themselves?
Right.
And
so this is where. Okay.
I'm not saying that there's a age of accountability kind of thing. I'm not making a decision on that.
No,
I'm saying that you with more knowledge, with more with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, that's good.
With higher reasoning,
yes,
you're holding the 17-year-old more responsible than a 3-year-old.
Okay, and just to be clear, of course I believe that, but we need to hash that out. We need to explain why that is.
Well, and he took steps to become inebriated, right?
Well, you're do we know that for sure?
I made the scenario. He got wasted, went to the zoo.
He got wasted on purpose? That's kind of important.
No one held him down.
All right. Maybe he had his first sip of communion wine. He was just being a good church boy. And he goes to a Presbyterian church and he had his first sip.
Why are you bringing Presbys into this?
Why wouldn't I?
They listen. They're going to come for
Presbys
us.
don't listen to this.
Maybe.
You know who listens to this? You know who listens to this?
Trump
Non-denominational.
Not anymore.
Oh, you don't think Trump? I didn't say anything heretical about Trump.
I didn't say heretical. He's not God.
You know
Do you
what
think
I'm
Trump
saying? I should have, as soon as I said heretical, I should have said slanderous. Is what I meant to say. But
yeah, you're slanderous. That's where you're.
Why did you
bring up Trump?
Stay focused. Here's the thing. Nobody who's Presbyterian listens to this podcast.
I don't care. I don't want to besmirch precious brothers.
I'm not besmirching them. They're the ones drinking booze and their communions.
Yeah, we should be too.
Wow.
You don't think we should?
Why would we?
Because that's what Christ drank.
Yeah, he said drink alcohol.
Yeah.
No.
This fruit of the vine.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
Well, since we could find all sorts of stuff that grows in a vine. Maybe it's pumpkin spice lattes. Don't pumpkins grow
bartender.
Don't pumpkins grow on vines? The fruit of the vine.
Yes.
So pumpkin juice.
Yeah, no, we all know
fermented
that when Jesus made the water into wine, it would have been pure. It would have been fresh. It would have been Welch's non-alcoholic. How does MacArthur say it? Yeah, MacArthur says that. Though.
He does not say it would have.
John MacArthur, yes, says that it was non-alcoholic. You can go look it up right now. John MacArthur says that it was non-alcoholic.
Then he needs to go home. All right. So anyways.
All right. A lot of evangelical jokes were just thrown around.
Yeah.
John MacArthur said
they're evangelical, you said.
They know about this, but some of them might not. Some people
are
living in other countries, and you need to be respectful towards our brothers and sisters in other countries. John MacArthur said, go home to a lady preacher. Now, moving on.
So
it was very controversial.
As to the Old Testament imperatives, which demand the death of animals, I argue that consideration shouldn't even be taken in by the zookeeper, because even if, let's say, those laws do apply, and he holds to those Old Testament laws.
For example, a Presbyterian,
not every
a theonomist.
Okay,
those are presbys,
but I know not presbys push them out.
Well, they're not completely out. In fact, they're excommunicated. A theonomist is somebody who believes that our civil law should be governed by the Old Covenant Mosaic civil law. Okay, so this guy thinks that even if he thinks that the law is applied,
let's say I could say I think that principle still applies. If an alligator kills a woman in Florida, I think we should kill that alligator.
I don't disagree.
But I base that in the Bible, right? I think that's a biblical principle.
Well, sure, but that still comes from that's a law given to Noah.
Okay,
so to Noah, like that's prior to Moses, though. That's not a Mosaic law.
Okay, but how are we handling the whole law? Like,
I think you make a distinction between the commands God gave to Noah and the commands God gave to Moses as part of the Mosaic covenant.
There's a way to read New Covenant theology where you're just like, that's the old. I agree. The old covenants. We don't. But I'm not saying. I'm saying like every Christian, I think, should say, if an animal kills a person, we kill that animal.
I agree. I'm gonna have to think about. Right now, I'm gonna say that's because of the law given to Noah, and I'd like to see if I can justify that from the New Testament. And I will say this too. Right now, I think my standing in the NCT Porch Facebook group, which is sort of the hub of New Covenant theology discussion and stuff, it's not doing great because I made some controversial statements about where Old Covenant saints regenerated, and I said no. So they're already thinking that I'm like on my way out. So if I now say that Christians have to adhere to requirements given to Noah, that might be the final straw.
Yeah. So base your theology on what Facebook group you're going to.
Well, because those. So I don't have sponsors for the podcast. That's the closest thing I have to sponsors.
Good.
Yeah, so
okay. So, anyways, I'm arguing the Old Testament imperatives should not bear weight on the zookeeper's decision making, because it doesn't mean that he has to pop Yutunzai right afterwards. Right?
I thought you were going to say he doesn't have to pop Yutunzi right between the eyes. Just bow.
Yeah. He doesn't have to do like there's the zookeeper, the zoo owner is involved. That might even be between them and God, right? I'm not called to be the executioner on behalf of God's justice immediately.
Right.
When it comes to killing an like
Yeah, and therefore the zookeeper should not factor that in. Is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Wait, I want to push back on that. Though.
Okay.
Or are you? Is that only? Is this a good place to jump in? Or are you gonna?
Well,
Are you building
no.
towards
Let me. So another part, a final part might be
Okay.
the animal's not at fault in the dilemma.
Yeah.
Adam is at fault.
Sure. Because he's morally responsible for getting drunk, wandering into the cage,
Yeah.
the pen, whatever it is.
Even if
enclosure.
if Yutunzi is a person or not, if he's a person, then he entered his domicile.
Yeah.
Some domicile laws there. If he's not a person,
Yeah, but the
then-
castle doctrine doesn't apply to animals.
if he's a person,
Right, but legally speaking, it still doesn't.
okay, all right.
Like you'd have to change the law. You can't just go
post hoc.
You can't just
Ergo propter hoc.
Yeah, you can't just
That's
go.
not the right.
Well, he's a
What's the law that I'm thinking of?
ad hoc, like what?
Something propter hoc.
That means after, therefore.
There's a
because
law.
of.
There's a law that you pass later, and then you pass now,
Yeah,
and then you
post hoc. I think that'd be post hoc. But you're also conflating that with a philosophical post hoc ergo.
No, I know it's
propter
not
hoc.
that.
Proctor hoc.
There's a line that comes from Legally Blonde that I'm trying to think of, but I can't get
Okay,
it.
okay.
It's a legal term.
Legally Blonde for you, Gen X.
What?
Gen
You don't have to
Zers.
explain
Gen
that.
Zers do not know about Legally Blonde. Are you kidding me? Gen Z.
They know about the bend and snap. Everyone knows. the
No,
bend and
they do
snap.
not.
Bend
Probably from gifts.
and snap. That's fine. That's all I need.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's keep going.
they
Let's
don't
keep
know
going.
that that
Let's keep
comes from
going.
that movie.
So they don't. It's fine. That's not controversial.
It was a
You
movie.
said controversial stuff. That's
It was
not
a movie.
controversial.
It was a movie.
Okay, so if the zookeeper shoots Yutunzi, he is actively
You had to go-
done something
Oh, we want
terrible.
to offend Yutun's eye
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
mispronouncing
Yeah.
his name. Sorry,
if
sorry.
he
Yutun's eye.
actively shoots the gorilla, he's done something.
Yes.
If he allows Adam to die, even he's calling out to him, he's calling Sarah to come.
Yeah.
If he allows the consequences to happen, he hasn't done anything wrong.
He hasn't done anything. That doesn't mean he hasn't done anything wrong.
I think he hasn't.
Well, that's why you need to read James 4:17, which I had pulled up on my phone for
Go
this
ahead.
exact moment. So, whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. So, sin is lawlessness. Sin is disobeying God. Sin
Right. So
is
that's the
mark.
question. Is this a sin for him?
Well, the question is there good that he ought to do that he's failing to do? And if so, that is sinful.
Right. So is it? It seems like there's two goods here, and they're competing goods. That's the whole dilemma. So how do we adjudicate between these two goods?
Well, there's two goods and there's two evils then. Letting a man get ripped to shreds and murdering an entire species.
Yeah, but if you kill the ape to save the human, that is considered a good then. If you're going with that decision. That's not
right.
evil there.
Well,
There's evil consequences,
is that evil?
Well,
The whole reason this is an ethical dilemma is because is that evil?
That's the whole thing.
Right.
So I'm saying at the end of the day,
you're being a little squishy.
it's really a hard decision, man.
Right, but you're trying to have it both ways.
I think that maybe it sucks.
What? You can't say that.
Sin.
Quick, contextually.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it sucks the air out of the room and we
No,
have to talk
it's
about
bad.
that.
It's a terrible decision, but I'm saying that you should not shoot the ape.
And therefore you think that that's the best, that's the good.
Yeah.
So therefore to shoot the ape would be wrong. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it's not two competing goods. It's a good and a bad. Don't be squishy about this, man.
I didn't say it was two competing goods.
Rewind.
No, you said it's two evils.
I said that in response to you saying it was two competing goods.
The good of saving
Ha!
Well, no.
Gotcha.
Check it out. It's good to save a man from hold back it's hold back the innocent, right?
As they're stumbling to the innocent, yes.
Okay, so hold back the innocent.
Yeah. As they're being stumbling towards the slaughter.
Yeah.
Stumbling. Sounds a lot like our guy.
Innocent.
Drunk. Yeah, well.
It doesn't destroy his moral worth or anything, but
innocent though, wait a second. Innocent. Okay, yeah, well, he is trespassing, that's true. This isn't on the street.
But trespassing, does that mean that you should instantly die by gorilla, right?
Right.
But trespassing in a specific place might be.
Yeah. The fool.
Wait, hey, you trespass on a government building, or you trespass
shot. Right.
in a
right. Shoot. Look. We're getting worked up.
If you trespass at a fort, you're gonna die, right? Because you know there's some consequences.
Talk to somebody who's been stationed in Iraq.
But
if a drunken person with a bulgy trench coat or something were to stumble towards the guard tower, okay, they're stumbling towards the guard tower. That guard is going to give him warning. He's going to tell him to back off.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, if that guy doesn't stop,
so someone could say, well, maybe this isn't as extreme a thing, right? Like,
well, right.
Yeah, but you know what lies in there is death.
Okay.
You sneak into a thing where you're trapped with a giant gorilla. He wasn't in his right state of mind.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was his fault.
Right. So here we have to go back to something that you said earlier. Okay. So you were talking about this. You said the zookeeper might be thinking, applying biblical law categories here. He might be thinking, look, if the gorilla kills this guy, I'm going to have to kill him anyway. But we both agree the zookeeper has not necessarily been deputized to execute that sentence on the gorilla. Right.
He's been deputized to stop the
carnage.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
So but the whole reason behind that lex talionis law, if a tit for tat, this for that, if eye for an eye, right,
makes the gorilla blind.
Eye for an eye makes the whole world
gorilla-less.
In this scenario, it would. The question is, why is that the principle? Why did God say that? And here's I'm going to say for two things.
It stopped you from Hatfield McCoying each other to death.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Right. In other words,
you just get an eye.
They killed one of ours. We're going to kill 3 of theirs.
Right.
Yeah. You just get an eye. That's right.
Yeah.
And that was a society where retaliation would have been seen as virtuous. Okay. So now here's the thing. There's 2 other things going on here too. One, the reason the animal dies is because an animal is not worth as much as a human. And I think that this is sort of like a,
but I think that I know that's true, right? Because of Mago.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think this principle is speaking to that because it lumps a human who kills a man.
Yeah.
And right?
Well, okay. So actually, I'm going to take that back.
Stone the bull to death as if you were like a human.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's the thing.
In the Exodus passage.
So I said there was 2. I think you're right. I'm actually going to retract that. Here's what I'm going to say. I think there's 1. Hear me on this. It's wrong for a bull to gore a man to death, or for a gorilla to dismember a man, or for whatever, any beast to kill, for a T-Rex to chomp on Fred Flintstone, because man is above the animals. No, wait, hear me on this.
It's true.
In Genesis,
man is God's representative here.
Yes.
It's like an animal going at God.
Right. And when God gave this law, he did not give this to Adam or Cain or Tubal Cain. He gave it to Noah.
In Exodus?
Yes. And this is right after God had authorized humanity to kill and eat animals.
Genesis does talk. I mean, there's a principle in Genesis as well.
This is in Genesis.
Oh, I thought you said Exodus.
Oh,
that's the bull.
No, I'm talking about
the bull.
The Noahic command.
The bull is in Exodus. We are having a quick powwow. All right,
I'm back. One of the great things about filming at home is we get to have our own environment and nobody can kick us out, but we're actually getting kicked out. Not really, but my wife's got to leave. She's going to a thing tonight.
Where she's gonna go.
I've got to
gore some bulls.
What the? She's gonna gore some bulls. What kind of a?
All right. Can we finish?
How would that even?
Let's finish.
Is she gonna get a couple of horns? All right. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's wrong because because man has the authority to kill animals. Animals do not have the authority, and man can kill another man in the sense that a government can execute a righteous, capital punishment on a murderer, for example. But
so you're saying
an animal is not authorized.
So don't kill Harambe's brother.
I think that the principle here is if it comes down to it, And if you can't tranquilize, I think I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to put my stake in the ground on the side of kill
Wow.
the gorilla,
Yeah.
save the man. And then here's the thing. And then try the man, because the 17-year-old's a man.
Yeah.
Try the man or
You
the
have
child,
none-
whatever.
Then you don't get these gorillas anymore. Like you don't get to exert dominion over them. And he broke into the facility.
I think that part of exercising dominion is making decisions like this. It's
So-
not just steward.
Yeah,
It's not just keep the animal alive at all costs.
So like the Old Testament law, they have.
And how did they get so endangered anyway?
I
There's
know, it's-
there's a problem here.
Well, so that's like we're trying to redeem man's fault already.
Because they've been poached to death or whatever.
Well, yeah, and their environment has been
Yeah,
jacked up.
yeah. And it's tragic, okay?
Yeah.
But you don't. But this guy, I mean,
But we have a chance to make it right. And
By-
this guy is.
you don't commit. You don't allow a guy to get a drunk. Look, the guy. Here's the thing, too. The guy's
I know, dude.
He's
I
drunk, but
know,
he's
I
not-
know it.
charging the beast. He's not saying it's either me or the beast.
Yeah, but either
I'll
way.
kill the beast.
But either way, like, I mean, he's not beating a gorilla to death with his hands, so he's not a threat either way. If he's running towards it or if he's meandering towards it,
So what are you saying?
so that I don't think that changes anything.
No, but I'm saying the guy's not clearly being. There's no enmity between him and the beast. So like if he were charging at the beast, going, "I'll kill you. I hate you, gorilla."
Why does that change anything?
Well, because here's why. Here's why.
because now
You
it's a
can-
hate crime.
You can imagine the zookeeper going, "Okay, like good luck."
But you could do that,
Dummy.
You could do that either way.
Well,
Okay, good
once
luck. Like,
once
you got
someone
in
is,
there.
yeah, I know, but like,
And he's
the-
not responding to me saying stop.
because he's so drunk out of his gourd. He's not responding
I know,
because he's
but is that
blackout
his-
drunk. And yes, I know. If the guy were behind the wheel, well, but then now we're talking about person in person. So if we're talking about a sober person, an innocent person versus a drunk, you do whatever you
It's
can
hard.
to save the
I think
innocent
it's
person.
hard, man.
Okay, look, save an innocent person. That's top priority. So that's the drunk guy behind the wheel. You get him off the road, even if it means causing him harm.
It's an innocent gorilla.
Yeah, but so here's my ethical order. Innocent person, no one's truly innocent, but innocent situationally. Innocent person, culpable person,
Yeah.
innocent animal, culpable animal below that. You agree?
No, I don't like that.
Oh, really? You don't agree with that?
I think in this situation, I think that you've trespassed. It's like in the Old Testament, they have if you don't have a border fence on your roof,
Yeah.
and if the guy
Somebody
falls off, it's your
right,
fault, right?
Right.
If he jumps off of your border fence,
Yeah.
and does a swan dive,
You're not to blame
right.
because you had the fence.
You put up his fence
Right.
to protect the gorilla.
Yeah.
To keep people out. This guy transgressed that fence.
Right. But in that scenario, there's an angry
But you,
there's an angry gorilla on the street waiting for this guy to jump off the roof. Ooga. just waiting to get his mitts on this
Yeah.
guy. So that's not a really
I don't think I moved, man. I think it's still this
Yeah.
guy went in there, and I'm not gonna like destroy this animal for your stupidity.
it's not my stupidity.
You're the
One's-
guy.
you know, that's what Dad used to always. Dad would like he'd talk to me, like he'd explain the story
He
to
still
me.
does that to me. I have
Yeah,
to tell him like,
but he'll-
this isn't me, right? Like,
No,
you
you
like that.
told me you were going to provide this
Yeah,
service.
You're getting
You
all
told
worked
me.
up.
You're getting
Yeah.
all worked up.
All right.
Here's the point.
Now they have to deal with it, right?
Look,
We got to wrap
look.
this up.
So the ethical dilemma is what you have to weigh here, even as a Christian, is at what point
Yeah.
do you allow someone to just simply reap the consequences? Like in Romans 1, it says it's talking about
Yeah.
immoral sexual attraction. It's actually
Well,
talking about homosexuality.
God. Well, he used
They
it as
received-
a case study.
Yeah,
right?
they received
God
in their
gives them
bodies,
over to the desires of their flesh.
right?
and they do all
receive
sorts of
the
crap.
due penalty of their error.
Yeah, and they do all this stuff, and God says, "Okay, you want to do that?
Right.
Go ahead."
yeah.
And
God,
we're
God
not
also
God.
gave them up to it.
And so
And
it's
it-
kind
so-
of like giving you up to the gorilla.
Yeah,
which is
right,
your-
right. Yeah. So jeez.
See how tough this is?
This is very tough. I still think if it comes down to,
Yeah.
I think if it comes down to where it's going to be either save the gorilla or save the man, I still think you
Yeah.
do the same thing they did with Harambe.
I think that's I want to say that, but I'm not. I don't know.
I know. I get it.
So let's see. Maybe leave your answer in the comments.
Yeah, I don't
right?
know. Drop
Yeah.
a comment and
Yeah.
let us know.
All right.
And this was. I hope this invades your domicile.
Yeah, I hope that this helps you next time your dog bites you.
Yeah, don't shoot your dog.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, I would
Image
never.
bear. Do you know who I am? Do you know whose image I've been made in? Dog?
I am not a dog. You are the.
Yeah.
Did you just like put the dog slowly to sleep and tell us only dreams now, Poochie?
Yeah.
Only dreams.
All right. Let's wrap. That's it.
Dream of bones.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. So
this is your problem now, listener.
Yeah, we
don't say washed our hands of it.
Well, why not? Why? That's too.
Because now you're
Pontius
Pilate.
Pilate-esque. I wasn't even going to say that.
All right, just end it.
All right, here's the point. If you want to, all this is an advertisement to say, sign up for the Think Update, which is a weekly email where I will send you tools and tips to help you explain, share, and defend the Christian message. If you want to get in touch with Parker, go to
ParkerSetAcase.com.
Parker has a new website, ParkerSetAcase.com. You can also find his. Are you going to transfer your old content over, or is that just going to stay?
Already there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So ParkerSetAcase.com, or you can go to an even better website, thethink.institute, get the real stuff. And then subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, what do they do on YouTube? Give a like, subscribe, hit the bell.
If you watched during our first live YouTube, we apologize.
We should have never said half those things, but we re-recorded and deleted that video, so you have no evidence that we actually said those things.
Right. Hopefully,
you have no proof.
Hopefully, you have no proof.
Now, at the end of the day, this is not goodbye. I hope that you have an opportunity to put what you just learned into practice. Well, actually,
yeah. So this is goodbye.
This is definitely not one of those things you want to apply.
Yeah.
But I do hope that it helps you think ethically,
institutionally,
because there's the Think Institute.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Let's just end it. We could have ended it 5 minutes ago.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, friends.
Oh man.
Well.